Pullover presses, my favorite way to hit the long head of my triceps, and after you learn how to do them, it'll be yours too. Hi, this is John Hart, and welcome back to Mr. America Hart. I appreciate you stopping by. Today I'm talking to you about those triceps of yours, okay? So as someone, myself, who was not genetically gifted with really big, full, billowing, long head muscle bellies in my triceps, I've had to really find the best exercises, the best combination of exercises to really hit my triceps hard so that I could succeed in bodybuilding. We don't want any weaknesses, right? So the reality is we constantly have been told and heard that in order to hit and to activate that long head of our triceps, we need to put the muscle under a major stretch. The stretch that people talk about is not just extending our elbow back or our hand back, but it's having our elbow up above our heads and doing tricep extensions of all types, whether it's with a cable or an easy curl bar or a dumbbell, but all kinds of tricep extensions with our hands overhead and elbow pointing up towards the ceiling. However, as you're going to see in this picture that I'm going to show you right now, this is the anatomy of your tricep. This is a view of a right tricep, and you can see by my arrows pointing at the long head origination, it originates up and under the rotator cuff and crisscrosses the joint with the lat. And that anatomy showed us clearly that we must do exercises that do, in fact, stretch that long head of the tricep by keeping the elbow up alongside our head. However, the movement that I prefer to do that with, and the one that hardly ever gets addressed as being necessary, is a pullover movement. I like doing pullover presses. Pullover presses where I do a pullover with an easy curl bar loaded with a decent weight, and then I pull it over my head when I'm laying on a flat bench, and then I do a close grip bench press immediately following. You can do different variations of that, whether you do a pullover press or a pullover tricep extension, but it's up to you. For me, it's a pullover press, and then after I've exhausted the pullover part of the motion, I usually continue on with a few close grip bench presses, and I'm going to give you an example right here in this video showing you how I do the movement. Okay, so you're about to see how I take this loaded easy curl bar off the floor. I start the exercise from the fully stretched position, and I pull it up from there. I pull that easy curl bar, which happens to be very sharp with the knurling, by the way, so I'm very careful not to hit my head. I've done it before, and I've gashed my head open. It's a bloody mess when that happens. So as soon as it starts to fail on the pullover motion, I will discontinue the pullover section and just do close grip presses for some continued reps. You'll see my elbows are going deep alongside my ears, and then the press portion of the exercise, when I come right here, the barbell is about 2 or 3 inches above my chest, and I press that up. And then once I hit failure on the pullover, or close to it, I do just some partial close grip bench presses at the top for about 3 to 5 repetitions, and those are coming up right about now. One more rep, and here it is. I do a couple of partial reps, maybe 3 or 5, and then when that fails, I'll hold the weight with a static hold at the very end of the set for 10 seconds to take it a little bit beyond positive failure. So I've done positive reps, partial reps, and then a static hold at the end right here for 10 more seconds until it's absolutely going to fall on my chest, and I just sit up with it real quick. And that's how I do it without a spotter. Now that movement is, to me, so pure in using the long head of my triceps. Both the lat and the tricep attachments go crisscrossing each other, and they serve to close the joint together. You can't do one without the other. If you're doing a pullover motion, you're going to use your lat as well as the long head of your tricep. So that muscle, that long head of the tricep, I apologize, it's the origination of the muscle of that tricep, is going to pull from the shoulder blade or scapula area and pull that elbow all the way alongside your body. So it serves that function. The other function is, in fact, extending your hand or your forearm. So to get full tricep development in that long head and to exercise it from both ends of the muscle as thoroughly as possible, I prefer to do not just all kinds of overhead tricep extensions, but also this pullover press motion. So using a pullover is in fact justified in my world, and hopefully it'll be in your world. I'm going to give you one caveat to the whole thing. I have great shoulder mobility, great shoulder flexibility. If you do not, this is not one of those exercises you want to jump right on into. You do want to experiment with how far you can go. You do want to make sure those shoulders are super flexible before you go and start throwing those elbows way back alongside your head, doing a pullover motion. And you do want to have a training partner on hand to spot you. That's about it. So otherwise, enjoy those pullover presses. You'll see I keep the reps between 6 and 10 repetitions on all of my pullover presses. But that's it for today. From my heart to you, John Hart. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, do you want John to be your personal trainer? Get your training and diet managed online by Mr. America himself. Go to MrAmericaHart.com. It's in the link right here below in the video's description.